What's up, everyone? NBA champions! Finally, for the 17th time, first time in 10 years. What a birthday present for me. I am on cloud 9 right now. And this is for you, Kobe. This is for Kobe. Oh yeah, please remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell because that's the best way to show your support. Finally. And fun fact, LeBron is the first player in NBA history to win NBA Finals for 3 different teams. And he definitely deserved it. Anyone saying that Anthony Davis deserved it, and I'm not here to bash Anthony Davis. Why would I be? Because first of all, I love the guy. Second of all, we just won a championship. Why would I be here to bash anyone? But LeBron deserved it. I would have loved for them to be co-MVPs, but LeBron absolutely deserved it. He put up another triple-double, almost 30 points, 28, 14, and 10 to be exact. But Anthony Davis had a great game himself. 19 and 15, and he had 2 blocks, and yes, I know block shots and steals are not the best way to evaluate defense, but still, Anthony Davis' defense in these playoffs has been remarkable. KCP played well. He had 17 points while shooting 6 for 13. Playoff Rondo, I said in my last video, playoff Rondo needs to be back. Rondo hasn't been playoff Rondo for much of this series, but he was tonight with 19 points on 8 of 11 and 3 for 4 from 3. This is so bittersweet. I gotta give the Miami Heat their props though, because they really fought hard, and this game they were just exhausted. They gave the Lakers the best shot they had. They challenged the Lakers more than any other team. But even with that said, championship is ours. This is our championship. And I just turned 27 today. Oh man, and Danny Green, I'm really happy for him. Like, those of you who are sending him death threats, not cool. Sending him and his fiance death threats, yeah, that's just not cool. And he didn't have an amazing performance, but he definitely did good enough, scoring 10 points on 4 for 10, but 3 of 7 from 3. So yeah, he definitely did his job, and 5 rebounds. So for his position, yeah, that's solid. So now this is actually my second day of recording. Everything you just saw was from the previous day. I just wasn't really satisfied with where this was going after what I just did. So I'll also include the fact that LeBron James and Danny Green joined John Sally and Robert Horry as the 3rd and 4th players to win championships with 3 different teams. LeBron James, of course, being the much more significant one out of the 3. Not only is he the only one that was out of the 3 that was even an all-star, let alone a superstar and best player in the world and finals MVP. But yeah, it was just something to throw out there as well. Now, is this championship legitimate? Absolutely yes. Those of you who say that it's not are just Laker haters or LeBron haters. This championship is 100% legitimate. Fans or no fans, it's not the Lakers' fault that the Clippers choked or that the Bucks choked. The Clippers were supposed to be the biggest threat to the Lakers, but the Nuggets knocked them off, and then the Lakers beat them in 5 games. And even the Miami Heat, who were actually the biggest challenge to the Lakers, they knocked off the Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics, who were both supposed to be the biggest threats to the Lakers in the East. And even though they were heavy underdogs and don't have the star power of the Milwaukee Bucks or even the Boston Celtics, it's their grit that got them where they are, and also coaching. Like, even though I do actually think Brad Stevens is one of the best coaches in the league, I think we can all agree that Eric Spoelstra severely outcoached him in the conference finals. those are things that the Lakers just can't control. So no, you cannot put that on LeBron or anyone on the Lakers. In fact, I think that people who are saying that this isn't legitimate are just Michael Jordan stans and LeBron James haters. Now you could also argue that because there were no fans, you have to be even more locked in because it's a completely different scenario and it's something that nobody's used to. And it's not like injuries really affected anything. I mean, yeah, a little bit in the finals, but I think that we could all agree that even if Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic were healthy, the Lakers still would have won the finals. And that's not even me being biased. That's just what I think is the popular opinion and the right opinion. And another thing is the fact that there is no home court advantage. The Lakers had home court advantage locked up in the Western Conference until the season had to stop. And because they had to play in a bubble, there's no home court advantage. What they earned through their great play throughout the regular season, it didn't matter to them because they had no home court advantage. But still, they beat the Blazers pretty easily. They lost game 1, but they won the next 4, and a couple of games were actually pretty close, but still, it was not that difficult of a win. And then against the Rockets, yeah, the Lakers also handled them pretty easily. The Nuggets, I mean, it wasn't like they blew out the Nuggets in those 4 wins. And like, yeah, they lost a game in that series too, but still, they won in 5 games against a team that knocked off the team that was supposed to really threaten the Lakers. In fact, many people thought that the Clippers would even beat the Lakers. And as an unbiased fan, I thought so too, but thankfully I was wrong. So yeah, and also Avery Bradley not joining the bubble, it's not a huge loss for the Lakers because it's not like Avery Bradley was a star. Losing LeBron or Anthony Davis, that would have put the Lakers at a huge disadvantage. But losing Avery Bradley was still a loss nonetheless because he was their top perimeter defender during the regular season. And I also have to give Adam Silver some major props. Throughout the entire bubble, 0 positive coronavirus tests. If only everyone can learn from the NBA on how to handle this situation, because clearly not enough people are taking notes, and the way Adam Silver handled it, he deserves a standing ovation for that. And not even just because my team won a championship, but seriously, the fact that they were able to play that many games and have 0 coronavirus positive tests. That is one hell of a job by Adam Silver. Now, I understand that he's at an advantage in basketball because a basketball court takes up less space than a football field or a baseball field. The roster sizes are smaller, and also it was not all 30 teams in the bubble. I completely get that, but still, the fact that he was able to do that and not have one player test positive for coronavirus, that's an excellent job by the commissioner, and hats off to you. But anyways, back to the Lakers, and as for LeBron winning his 4th Finals MVP and with his 3rd team, which we talked about before, I did already talk about what this does for his legacy in a previous video. I talked about that in the video where the Lakers made it to the finals. And now that the series is over and LeBron James did get his 4th Finals MVP and a victory in these finals, I think that what I said in that video still holds up. And as for Anthony Davis, even though he didn't win Finals MVP, he was still very valuable for the Lakers to win this series. Aside from Game 3, he played excellent throughout the series otherwise. And even without actually winning Finals MVP, I think that this will really boost his legacy, and I think that this for sure puts him in the top 50 players of all time. I'm actually not really sure off the top of my head before this season if I had him in there. Probably not, but I mean, he would have been in there anyways even if he won 0 rings. I mean, at least in my opinion. But with this ring, Finals MVP or not, yeah, I think that it's safe to say Anthony Davis is a top 50 player of all time. Now, do I think that the Lakers will win next year? I honestly like the chances. I do think it's going to be tougher because Steph and Clay are coming back and the Warriors have a lottery pick. and the Nuggets are going to be better because they have cap space. And they already had such a great season this year, and Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are still young, and also Michael Porter Jr. and Jeremy Grant are emerging as some pretty solid role players. And in the East, I think that the Heat are just a piece away. In fact, I think that even if they don't get that one more piece that they could really use, they're going to get better anyways. And I think that just getting this far alone is going to give them some real leverage in free agency going forward. I'm not expecting them to make a big splash this year because the free agent market is honestly not that significant. So yeah, Anthony Davis has a player option, and we should expect Anthony Davis to resign. Brandon Ingram is a restricted free agent. DeMar DeRozan has a player option. I'm just looking at the top 10 free agents this year. So the best unrestricted free agents are Fred VanVleet, Montrezl Harrell, Goran Dragic, Davis Bertans, and Danilo Gallinari. So it's not like those guys are bad, obviously, because those are some pretty good players, but it's not like LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard, or it's not like last year or the year before's free agency class by any means at all. But in the future, though, I think that the Heat are ready to make some big moves because what they did this year makes them a very desirable place for future free agents to go. But just going back to next year, because I'm not talking about the future of the Miami Heat here. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Yes, there are going to be some teams that are going to get better. I'm honestly really not worried about the Clippers. I think that they're not in such a great situation right now. But I think that the Lakers have a very solid chance of repeating next year. Hopefully that does go well, but whether they do or not, I think that LeBron James already made himself a Lakers all-time great with this championship alone, and I think Anthony Davis did too. But anyways, I'm just going to enjoy this championship for now because this is definitely the best birthday present of my life, and I don't think that a lot of people can really say that they had this great of a birthday in 2020. I can, so I think that this is one of those times where you really have to appreciate what you have. Now that's the end of this video. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell button. Championship is ours. Mamba out. Let's go Lakers. I hope I didn't pull an Urkel.